we are live and up and running. Hello to anybody and everybody. Welcome back to the Hobo Racing League Cup Series action here tonight. Tonight, it is the Last Great Coliseum. It is Bristol Motor Speedway. And Keith's already hyping up his qualifying, but oh my goodness, and rightfully so. I just looked at the lap times, but we'll get to that in just a moment. But 150 laps on tap for tonight. Of course, open setup, realistic damage, all the whole kit and caboodle that we've had throughout this season. 8 races in, and not a single multi-time winner as of yet, which is absolutely insane. So credit to these guys and how competitive it's been. We'll see. As these races go on, it's going to be harder and harder to keep that streak going. But hey, you never know.
I'm gonna smoke a cigarette on that, boy.
Can be quite Bristol can be quite interesting. But back alongside me once again, my right hand man, as always, Mr. Zach Rogers.
Yeah, I just want to say real quick that lap is ridiculous, ridiculously fast. Mac Daddy Keith got it hooked up. But yeah, Andrew, we are here at Bristol Motor Speedway for hopefully a great time, not a bad time. You know, it's going to be a great time for us, no matter what. For the drivers, you can't say the same potentially. But happy to be back. It's my first one in then about 5 races since Phoenix. So yeah, happy to be back here at Hobo. We'll see if we can't get our first multi-time winner on this season.
And we'll see who that could be, if anybody. And yeah, Bristol open setup can either be excellent or painful. I think the same could be said about Darlington, which we were at last week, and we witnessed a barn burner of a finish. As y'all can hear, I sound a lot better. Thankfully, I'm finally all but over that stinking illness, and I am all but 100%.
You sounded good before?
I said, I mean, you've got a point. You've got a point.
Sorry to break into the health and wellness check, but hey, we're on the last row for once.
But yeah, we got 28 drivers, it looks like, and yeah, the final 2 are you and I, which that's pretty unusual. But yeah, we'll take a quick look at the starting lineup here. Keith McLean, Mac Daddy, you heard him kind of hyping it up over Whisper there. 15.439, almost a 10th clear of everybody else, which at this track and how competitive this is, that's a gauntlet right there that he just laid down.
Yeah, the fastest lap I've ever seen before that one was actually on the night version, which for whatever reason I've seen over history. People tend to run like a few hundredths faster on the night track than they do the day track, but that is about 45 1,000ths faster than the previous best lap I've ever seen run at game track Bristol in qualifying. So that lap's actually ridiculous.
I hope he has a replay. I'd love to see a replay of that. But very impressive there for the Phoenix winner. Herman Reese will be starting in 2nd place. Then you got Wiley King and Mark Cosenza. Some great qualifying efforts there from those two.
And real quick, just to interject into the starting lineup, those 2 laps there by Herman and Wiley, those are usually a pole lap. So those are really good laps too to be into the 15.5s. Just wanted to point that out.
Yeah, 15.527, 5.54 respectively for those 2. And then Mark Cosenza and Ken Hansen getting into the 6s. Caleb Lingle, the Las Vegas winner, in 6th. Then the Texas winner, Fugate, in 7th. Eddie Rayleigh, Ryan Johnson, and Steve Grant round out the top 10. That is pretty much everything that you want as far as winners there in the top 10. Jeff Stakana starting 11th. Ron Simpson, Randy Smith, Ricky Bumbalo, Jason San Diego are the top 15. Zach, if you want to take the rest of them.
Yes, indeed. In 16th, you got Maverick. Then row 9, Duke Sorensen and Rob Heath. Row 10, you got Rick Castle and Steve Rubino. Row 11, DJ in the 77, and Troy Donahue in the 81. Row 12 is D. Rubino and Irv Johnston. And then the last one to set time, row 13, you got BSR Kilojoules with Stenzo and Harry Cody and Money Keller. Gonna round out tonight's starting lineup of 28 drivers. And, you know, last time we saw KJ at Bristol over in Bomb Squad, without going into too much detail, it was quite the adventure for KJ. Hopefully that was just his first lap on track here tonight, and he'll methodically work his way through the field. I believe he hasn't been qualifying this season. Last time I talked to him, he's been doing the last to first challenge, if you will. So maybe he just wanted to put a lap on the board instead of just being randomized. So he is the last of those that set time.
Yeah, I know that. I know that he qualified at Darlington, but I think that was. I think he admitted that that was just because with Darlington passing is the equivalent of like the Monaco Grand Prix.
Yeah, that's a pretty good take. Yeah, I mean, you would have to be extremely patient with the long run and just wait for guys to get tight on exit. And then when they get in the wall or they get really loose and they have to get out of it, you shoot to their inside and then you get them going into the next corner. I mean, that's really the only way to pass at Darlington is on corner entry.
Yeah, so couldn't blame him there. But yep, for the most part, he's been attempting that. He was the last one to get into the server, so he's going to have a little bit of a deficit there as far as knowing what his setup's going to be doing. But of course, he does have the experience that we just ran the Bomb Squad Cup race here not too long ago, just a few weeks ago. So I'm sure that he'll be taking some of that knowledge here. But a little bit of a bigger field and a lot more guys to deal with. So, but we'll see. We'll see if maybe he can get up there and make it 9 for 9. We're 8 for 8 right now on different winners. That would be pretty impressive.
And just to point out the whole not qualifying thing, you know, it's not always reflective of where you can finish. So KJ, before tonight, he's missed one race at some point this year, but in 7 starts, average starting position 20.57. The average finishing position is an improvement of 9 spots, exactly 11.57. Other drivers like that, you got Maverick, average start of 20th. Finishing position average is 13th. And then 4th in the points, one of our drivers with a win this season, Ryan Johnson, average starting position of 15th. Average finishing position of 7.88. 4 top 5, 6 top 10s on the season for Ryan.
Yeah, Ryan is always one to watch, really, in any of these races. And I wouldn't be surprised if he's going to be able to make some noise. Starting in that 9th position today. You do have another short track winner there, though, and Eddie Rayleigh starting in 8th in that 112. He won it at Martinsville, a very chaotic Martinsville race. As these guys are getting gridded up here, we did get on and off track.
You know, a driver who's had bad luck from his qualifying runs, Caleb Lingle, who starts 6th tonight. In 7 races, he's got the 1 win, 1 top 5, 2 top 10s, but he has had some insanely bad luck because he's got, as we get the command, Caleb has 3 poles this season, and his average starting position is 2.14.
Wow.
And the bad luck is very apparent because when you look at the average finishing position, it's a drop of 13 and a half spots. It's a 15.71 coming into tonight. But Caleb's got speed. He's won tons of races here in Hobo. So it's just a bad luck streak. You tend to get those. I've been on a bad luck streak on Sundays the last 3 weeks myself. So
I think anybody's been there who's been in this game long enough. But here we go, coming to the start of this thing, and a quick go around here. It's 150 laps at Bristol in the HOBO Cup Series, and the game just crashed. Or no, they reset.
They reset. I just saw Ryan Johnson fall out right before the green.
Ah, that's what that was. Yeah, I saw them kind of discombobulated there, so I was thinking something might be off.
He restarted because Ryan failed.
Copy
Yeah,
that.
we gathered that. Thanks for letting us know, though. Get him again. Might be waiting here. He fell out.
Yeah, he's out. TeamSpeak too. Hey, we give these guys grace whenever this kind of thing happens. Obviously, some leagues, when it comes to broadcasted races, even if they normally have a restart rule, they won't do restarts for the broadcasted races. I'm never picky about that. You'll restart as many times as you need to. He may have to reset again. You don't think he quite made it back on track. Yeah, no, he's missing.
I mean, if they don't, it's going to be a killer to the start of his race because he's going to have to hope for cautions to get those laps back.
Yeah.
He's still not back in the server. He's back in TeamSpeak, but he's not back in the server.
Get back to the live picture here for everybody.
Oh, he just jumped back in, so he should be able to get on track after the first lap or two, so he will start probably about 2 laps down here.
Yeah, if they're going to proceed, then it will indeed be a bit of a hole for him to climb, but hey, anything's possible at a track like this. Officially now, though, we're underway for Bristol, the 9th race of the season. Everybody going to try and sort it out here through a very treacherous 1 and 2.
Single file already. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 drivers already single file.
A little bit of contact back there, but they kept it straight. That was Cody Ann and Donahue. That was at the very rear. Boy, they're still kind of door banging. As there is Ryan back out on the racetrack.
And he is 1 lap down. About half a track, maybe less, in front of the leader. Says KJ's around in 3 and 4 in front of Troy Donahue, and that's going to bring out the caution. So there's the lucky dog for the 78.
Yeah, he knew he was secretly hoping, like, come on, quick yellow, quick yellow. And he just got it there. And KJ already, the rear end of that Corvette is a little bit crunched up.
Yeah, it looks like it just came out from under him going into turn 1. Actually gets most of that rear end damage when the car slides all the way down the banking and hits the inside guardrail.
Self-cleaning racetrack. With this banking.
That was something we saw in the bomb squad races, was that it could get very free on you on entry if you sent it in too deep. You know, especially in the bomb squad cup race, you know, which, you know, same physics as this cup physics. It just, if you send it in a little too deep and you miss that braking lift point, you know, it'll just come right out from under you. And that appears to be what happened to the 029.
It doesn't take much. Well, early on here, under the first yellow flag, Mac Daddy up in the race lead there. I know it's early on, but Zach, if you wish to take the opportunity to maybe give a little word about your ongoing podcast.
Yeah, so I've started up a podcast going about a month strong now. It's called Who's That Driver? It's about telling stories from the NR2003 community. My only real rule is that I'm trying to have people that have been around for a while on the show, because they tend to have the most stories. The early stories are just entertaining stories overall, but we've had 4 people on so far. We've had yourself, Andrew. You were the first one. Then we had Cody Lamas come on the show. I've known Cody about 10 years now. Dunn LaPrade was episode 3. Dunn had some funny stories from back in the day. He was around for online around 2009, 2010-ish. And then recently we just had Joshua Moyers on, who he got the game back when it came out. He's a little bit older than us. He was about 15, 16 years old when the game came out. And he was around during the early days of the Sierra server. So that was very cool. If you want to check that stuff out, you can check out my channel, Bulldog Speed. That's Bulldog. And then SP33D on YouTube. And yeah, it's a good time. Got somebody else lined up for next week's episode, and we'll be already at episode 5. So it's going by pretty quick.
And it's a good listen. I would definitely say give it a shot if you just want to kind of hear some good stories from such an awesome yet old game that's still going strong.
Yeah. It's a good thing to just put on in the background. We don't have any webcams or anything right now, so there's nothing really to look at. So it's more of like a listening thing. So yeah, it's a good thing to just, you pull it up on YouTube, you stick it in the background, whether you're driving or whatnot, and just listen along.
Hey, that's the best podcast right there. You just able to just enjoy it at your leisure, whatever it is that you're doing. As we're going to be coming to green on lap number 9 here.
Next caution, we'll do my next ad read. First myself. Next self-promotion on the next caution. Then another self-promotion on the next yellow.
As long as I'll get mine in at some point, even though I don't have that much. But here we go back to green. And MacDaddy bringing him down into 1 and 2. Single file restarts, of course.
Oh, we're crashing at the back of the pack.
Uh-oh. Yeah, that don't look good.
That's Monty Keller.
He's got a lot of damage there. Looks like Donahue, which I just realized for the last few races I've been calling him Trey Donahue, and that is completely my bad. That is Troy, not Trey.
Oh, so this accident happens.
Ooh, coming to the restart.
A little ahead of Monty. See if I can't pinpoint it. Oh, so Rob Heath got a bad restart, spun the tires, wasn't able to accelerate.
And accordion effect.
Yeah, DJ was going hard, and he had to stop, but everyone else behind them couldn't see that. So you see Steve Rubino drop to the apron to avoid. Harry Kodian checked up, and then they still had room to maybe go, but Dan Rubino in the 44 checked up, and then Monty checked up, and Irv Johnston just wasn't able to check up in time. Runs into the back of Monty. Spins Monty around, gives him some rear end damage. And, yeah, second caution of the night already. Andrew, your turn.
I was not prepared for that. Let's see, I'm just checking on through the field at the moment, but you know what? I'm gonna advertise my boy Alex again. I know I do that all the time, but I'm doing it again. Not only is he a great NR creator, but the dude also makes music, and he is coming out with a new album here shortly. Can't for the life of me remember what it's called, but he did just put out a single from it called Tawanda, and his musical project is called West Branch, and it's a good listen. It's just kind of I don't know what genre you'd call it, but
what's it sound like?
Oh, let's see. He's got some clean singing in there. He's got some rap going on. Sounds very pop-esque, but almost synth-wavy at points. So it's a good combination of a few things, I think. It sounds very independent music kind of thing, but it's a good time.
Right on.
Especially his previous album, which is titled Antithesis to Anxiety. Boy, that is a listen and a half, and honestly, there's a few songs on that one that even got me choked up at points. So Alex, if you're listening to this, you done good, especially Albatross. That song frickin' hurt.
Keith McLean's clutching here under yellow.
We've already got the 1 to green. That was pretty quick.
These caution laps, they go by pretty quickly. 46 seconds a pop. Saw Wiley King doing a little warpy warp.
Yeah, he disappeared there.
Hopefully that's good and stabilized now.
Yeah, not too much changed up here at the front. As hey Nathan, good to see you in the chat.
Stenzo never took the green.
Yeah, I saw that. So, and then just bailed out of TeamSpeak.
One reason or another, yeah, he has left the building.
So 27 drivers that officially took the green flag. All of them now on the lead lap. 2 cautions in so far. We'll see kind of how this restart will go as Keith McLean, Herman Reese will get them going here.
No checkups this time.
The King, Mark Crescenza, Ken Hansen. We'll see if Ken can convert that good qualifying effort into a great result.
Loose at the back of the field was Irv Johnson in the 49 off of turn 2.
Few others got loose.
Keep it straight.
So far, so good. See how the handling's going to be for that 029, 028. Wiley's looping it from third into Hansen. Oh, watch out, Fugate. You're going to miss that somehow, but the yellow will be out. That was right at the front.
Everyone scatters, and, you know, thankfully, since Fugate was able to miss it and everyone else had time to react behind him, the only one who really got unlucky there was the 94 of Ken Hansen. Yeah, that's just tough.
Yeah, we'll see how much damage that 94 might or might not have. It was a frontal impact, so that might be repairable. I think more pain's going to be on that 95. Yeah, it looks like that thing just did the old step out trick.
Yeah, it just barely got loose on him on the cold tires on exit, and he tried to correct it back to the right, and that is not a good idea unless you're certain you're going to catch that thing. He tried to lock it down the best he could, though. Once it swerved back around, Ken just had nowhere to go.
I will say, it is so easy to just start sliding, and then you're like, okay, I'm good, and then it kicks back around the other way. And that is exactly, I think, what led to at least part of that. We're getting on board with Ken Hansen here. 3rd place, and there it goes. And yeah, at that point, Ken was already like, all right, he's going to be down to the inside, so I'm good. And then he slid up, and at that point, you can't just launch it down to the inside because then you're just going to end up spinning yourself. So he was pretty well committed as he's bringing it down pit road to see what kind of damage that thing's got. Well, Zach,
my turn.
I guess your turn again.
I'll keep this one short, and I'll save the real juicy self-promotion for later. I'm also a self-published author. If you're into reading books, you're interested in some science fiction, motorsport type stuff, you can check out my book, Death Craver, on Amazon. That's Death Craver. Craver spelled K-R-A-V-E-R. Yes, I know I'm a little edgy, spelling it with a K instead of a C.
That's the 3's instead of E's.
But it actually makes it a lot easier to, what are you talking about? That's the YouTube channel. That's completely different from the book.
You guys got to make it unique. But, I'm just messing with it.
But no, yeah, when you type in Death Craver and Craver with a K on Amazon, it pops like right up, like right at the top. Because the reason I spelled it like that was because I knew when it was searched, it should come right up, like nothing else should pop up. Because there's no other relevant books on Amazon with that like similar title. So, but yeah, if you're interested, you can get it on. It's in the Amazon Kindle program. So if you have like the monthly Amazon Kindle book thing is called, I am totally out of the loop on whatever that program is called. But you can read it for free. So, or you can pay 99 cents to get it on your Kindle or phone. So yeah, that's my book advertisement without telling you anything about the book.
I know bits and pieces about the book. I would say give it a go. It's a good one.
It's a slow build. It's a slow build, but once you're in, you're in. So we're going back green in 2 seconds.
That was a fast caution there, and yes, triple-digit numbers are indeed allowed in this series. To answer Nathan's question there. Oh, Keith, that looked like a bit of a slide. But he's got that thing under control.
I'm just going to watch the pit lane cameras until we make it few more laps. I'm watching people on exit.
I think that's a good play there. We'll keep it up front here as Keith's pulling slightly. Herman Reese and Mark DeCenza. And then they're a little bit ahead of Caleb Lingle and company. Fugate now up into the top 5 after just barely missing that incident. Andy Rayleigh up into 6th ahead of Stikanis.
Loose near the middle of the field.
Uh-oh. Oh, that is Randy Smith. Held on to it. Oh, Maverick, same thing. Ooh, corner exit is deadly!
Oh,
and someone's around.
Spinner.
Oh, it's
Duke
Duke Sorensen. In the middle of the field. Nobody's going to get into him, at least at this point.
Oh, that was because Jason San Diego got loose in front of him.
Man, another guy that I know you were saying about Caleb Lingle just not having the luck. I feel like San Diego's kind of been in the same boat.
Jason,
see what happened here. Oh,
Jason's a pretty good open setup racer, but yeah, it's not been his season. 2 top 10s on the year. Been qualifying around the middle of the field on average, and then averaging around the same finishing position. A lot of these guys run triple-digit numbers because, you know, a lot of them, they've been around a long time. You know, if the dominant single or double-digit number was already taken, you know, they just threw a 1 or 0 in front of it, and they've been running that forever since. And then, you know, also a lot of these guys I've learned throughout the years are big dirt guys, and triple-digit numbers are a little more common in dirt. Or, you know, they stick a letter on it, but you can't stick a letter on the number.
Oh, that's my end. Uh-oh. Zach, you with me?
Yeah, been here.
I almost fell out of everything there for a moment. I think we're all good.
I don't know how much people heard or didn't hear, but yeah, these guys like running triple-digit numbers because that's what they're used to.
Mm-hmm. Yep, we were kind of in the middle of that, and then I lost everybody on NR, and you went silent, and I was like, uh-oh. But thankfully, it looks like we're back.
Lights are still on.
Let's see, what else can I promote?
Well, we can promote your internet because apparently it's got problems.
Would that be a demotion?
A demotion, indeed.
Because that was sketchy. Just a little sketchy. Let's see. I guess I'll shout out the Bass Pro Cup Series, which is that's a series that's run by the league BPNR, which is a league that I totally meant to that I was thinking I was going to race tonight, and then totally kind of forgot about it and realized, oh wait, yeah, there's a stream tonight, and got that all set up for this. So sorry to everybody at BPNR, but I'm here instead and putting on a show here at Bristol, and we're gonna be having a good time with it. So it's a league that our boy Caleb Rose is in, and of course, congrats to Caleb Rose on winning the Top Dragster Open Championship. Zach has no idea what I'm talking about, but that's okay.
Sure don't. Coming back green.
Under 19 to go. See what we got here for this run. Ready getting through the corner here on the still shot there. Oh, I heard a slide.
That's Dan Rubino in the 44. He caught it though. Looks like Troy Donahue did not quite get caught back up before the restart. He's actually lap down.
I saw him a lap down along with, I think it was the 95. Is Rob Heath and DJ
Wiley
were doing battle.
Wiley King all the way at the back. Now he'll go by Dan Rubino in the 44. Ken Hansen is starting to rebound back up to 22nd. Ryan Johnson, who had to start a lap down, is up to 20th. KJ up to 19th. Duke Sorensen 18th. Irv Johnston in 17th. And that's pretty much it for the drivers we've seen had some issues. Well, San Diego got to stay in 11th. Just curious.
Yeah, he did initially spin it and then kept it going, so I don't know. I don't know what the rule is there exactly. Eddie Rayleigh with a lot of side damage, so sixth place runner managed to find the wall at one point. And yeah, Nathan knows exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah, sorry it didn't quite pan out for your team too well on that, but I don't know. I feel like the reception was good enough. Maybe I'll do that again. Maybe. I don't know. Keith McLean's still running away with this thing, actually closing on Donahue already.
Yeah, the field's been very spread out at giving space these last 2 or 3 restarts after that accordion wreck we saw on the first restart.
Yeah, it's sent Monte Keller around. Field a little bit stacked up behind Caleb Lingle in 4th place at the moment. Shout out to Steve Grant there, up to 8th. Ron Simpson and Ricky Bumbalo are currently in the top 10.
And remember, most of our leaders in the top 10 have not pit yet because of all these caution flags. They're not really putting any wear on the tires. You know, mostly pacing under the yellow, just letting them save some gas. I would anticipate, though, that at some point, if there's another caution, you're probably going to want to pit, not so much for your tires, but for gas, because the last thing you want is for a green flag run to unfold, and then next thing you know, you pit around like lap 80, and a lot of the guys who've had problems, they're going to go another 10, 20, 30 laps. Yeah. Then if you get a caution, you're stuck 2 laps down. Like, it's an automatic 2 laps here.
Yeah, that's...
Actually, I think it might be 3 with how fast they go around here.
It kind of depends on where you're on the field, as Fugate's been hounding the back of that 113 there for 4th. But yeah, that's where strategy at this track is so interesting, because you may get the undercut, but then if a caution comes out at the wrong moment, your race is done. It's not like, oh yeah, you could recover with a lucky dog or something. No, you're toast, unless you get really lucky. So it's a game of cat and mouse pretty much in that regard. But I guess that is one thing, and Zach, I'm sure you can attest to this. If with this track, tire wear it's definitely there, and it will play a factor, but maybe not quite as much as it would have at a track like Darlington.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of wear, but there's not like really too much grip loss. You lose about a second to maybe a second and a half a lap time, depending on how hard you drive it, what your setup is looking like. So, I mean, right now, Keith's only like 2-3 tenths off his best lap. And I mean, we're close to lap 50, and that's also because, you know, they've only run green flag laps for about half of these laps.
Mm-hmm. They're already on our longest run here, as they have caught the back of the field already. Just got by Dan Rubino there. I know the Rubino clan, who, whether they're watching this or not, yep, I'm sure they'll tune in at some point. Oh no!
Big trouble.
Goodness.
We got a parking lot in 3 and 4. All our leaders spun it out. Oh, and Keith's going to get held up because Maverick's backing down the racetrack.
There's like nowhere to go there. Oh yeah, I saw Herman slowing, and I was like, uh-oh, something's wrong. And boy, howdy, something was sure wrong. They wrecked it into 3 and 4 ahead of the leaders.
Oh, this started with Rob Heath and DJ.
Oh, someone's toast. Oh, that's Rob Heath. Yeah, he's smoking it up.
Oh, so they came off of turn 2. DJ got a bit of a run. kind of threw it into the corner. Rob wasn't ready for it, so Rob turned down, gets dumped by the 77. And then Rob's just kind of sitting in the middle of the track. Irv Johnston barely clips him in the 49, and then it's on from there. Randy Smith gets involved. Keith Hughes spun it, trying to miss it. Same with Mark DeSenza. Then Maverick got involved, and then they're just trying to find the way through. And Keith was going to go low of Maverick, but Maverick reversed it down to get off the track, and that held up Keith. But everybody now on pit road. Actually, not everybody. Steve Grant has stayed out. He might be trying to get a lap led here.
We'll just get a quick look at Keith trying to slow down and ends up looping it. I think even with that contact with the 23, I think he'll be fine.
Oh, yeah, I don't think there'll be any damage from that. He just lost a few spots.
I think DeSenza actually inherited the race lead there.
Yeah, I mean, they got all jumbled up. I mean, Mark spun out too. Herman just kind of stopped, but when they were navigating through the wreck, Mark was the one who was able to get through the parking lot first.
And Herman is going to end up winning the race off pit road there, so that will put that 73 Cadillac up into the race lead.
That's if Steve Grant pits here. Wiley King has not come in either.
That's true, yeah. Them guys have to bring it in or not.
Oh, Mark DeSenza's end the longest line. He sped or something.
Oh boy, that's gonna be a fun. That's gonna be a fun journey to the front.
Yeah, that's gonna be a brutal penalty. It's gonna be really tough to recover that. Yeah, it looks like Steve Grant is intending on staying out here. Looks like Dan Rubino is the free pass. Troy Donahue, I think, is going to take the wave. That'll put Troy back to 1 lap down and put Dan back on the lead lap.
We'll see what Wiley does here as well. If he's going to have to bring it in or keep it where it's at. That's kind of the weird thing when you take 1 to go. You could still pit coming into the corner here.
The lights are off. Steve Grant will be your leader. Wiley King second. Herman Reese is up to third. Keith McLean down to fourth. Eddie Rayleigh, your top 5.
That's a great run there for the 112.
Maverick still on pit road trying to fix some more damage. He'll have to get it going here. He's not choosing the speed on pit road to get out of pit road faster. I mean, to come in the green, you might as well just floor it.
Yeah, it looks like it'll at least be about half a track ahead, but we'll see what Steve Grant's going to be able to do here. Feeling, I guess, good enough on those tires. We'll see if he's going to be able to make that work. We'll see what Wiley King's going to do with the damaged race car, but hey, if there's a track where you can typically get away with it, it's going to be a track like this.
I mean, and once your tires heat up, it's all about just being consistent. You know, just don't make a mistake, and it's going to be hard for the guy behind you to get a run on you, to get onto you.
Yeah, Darlington might be one of the hardest tracks to pass on, but this track is definitely right up there as far as trying to make a move happen, unless the guy in front of you obviously really slips up. But unless that happens, trying to really make something happen, I mean, you kind of saw, if you get a little aggressive, what happened with the 73 or 77 and 27.
Yeah, I mean, the straightaways here are just so short. It's hard to really form a run off a turn exit unless the guy in front of you makes that mistake that allows you to get to the inside. Oh, Dan Rubino spun out by himself right in front of the leaders. Ooh. No caution, but everyone's going to have to fly down to the bottom here.
Dan's having a rough go of it tonight. And just like that, caught his lap back and back a lap down again in that 44. Steve looks like he'll be the top Rubino guy here. But credit to Steve Grant, looking solid. As Wiley King also actually looking really solid again, despite the damage. He's got some decent speed still in that number 95.
Mark DeSenza already back up to 17th. Now, Andrew, worth pointing out, this appears to be a really good track for Mark. This season, he has not had a good go. 30th in the point standings. with an average finish of 27.8. So it has not been a good year for Mark at all. And, you know, he was having a great turnaround run there in the top 3 before the speeding penalty. Still has a chance for a really good run here. You know, a top 10 alone would be a great way to maybe get the momentum back in the right direction for this 33 team.
Yeah, he definitely has the speed. I would add him to the list of drivers that has great speed and yet has just not been able to show for it.
Well, he just ran the second fastest lap of the race back there in 17th with a 15.790. That's second to only Keith McLean.
Oh, a little close there as Wiley King starting to get shuffled on the outside. Nearly contact with Jeff Stakanis there. That is a battle for the top 5 at the moment. There's the contact.
Yeah, Wiley got loose, it looked like, going into the corner, and he swung down into Jeff and shot him right back up into the wall.
And now that thing's even more damaged. He's trying to hold on to whatever track position he can and try and slot in front of Ron Simpson, and will do so. So that'll be 8th place now, but a little more of a wounded race car. But still doing his best. Steve Grant, though, still doing his best. And oh boy, here's shades of Darlington. At that finish, Steve Grant was as aggressive as could be, trying to win it ahead of Herman Reese, and managed to pull it off.
Yes, that's your new points leader, too. He got the points lead over Herman from that race. Currently an 18-point lead coming into today.
Ooh, good run there for Herman.
Yeah, he's really trying to set him up. You know he's on older tires. He's just got to set up a good exit.
You still got Keith. Ooh, yep, little tap there. Yeah, these guys definitely looking a little faster.
Yeah, I'm not sure when Steve last pit, but he's doing a great job holding steady. But, I mean, once he gets to the top, he's going to want to try to find a hole to get into. As he's really loose.
Whoa. That was just about a catastrophe right there, but that will give the lead.
Keith and Eddie.
The Herman Reese.
With a moment.
Eddie with trouble, but Jeff Stakanis going to back out of that. Boy, that's just how quickly things happen. I mean, heck, we saw it on the last caution. Little dry throat there, but that's okay. Yeah, now we're clicking these laps off.
How about Ricky Bumbalo getting some fire here from Jason San Diego for 10th place, but Ricky with a great run. Ooh. Just has one top 10 so far this season in 8 starts.
And don't count out that 78 Ryan Johnson. He's up to 14th. So see what he might be able to do. Yeah,
it's a slow grind. I mean, KJ is still stuck back here in 20th.
Here's the move. Oh, San Diego's spinning it. And that's going to be a crash. He's upside down.
Oh, and they're just piling in. Dan Rubino just went right into Steve Rubino. Now they're sitting there like a pair of police officers down near the pit wall.
Rubino cops there. Oh, geez, and they're still trying to get it sorted.
Oh, geez. Dan about pulled up right in front of Rick Castle. That was scary. And Mark DeCenza has called it a night. So has Jason San Diego. And Rob Heath retired a little earlier.
Yeah, Rob Heath, I know, was smoking after that last caution. And I think San Diego went for a tumble on this one. Unfortunately, we saw it. Saw him go side by side there, trying to make the move for 10th on the 85. And then back end said, no thank you.
I mean, it actually looks like Jason maybe checked up a lot more than he wanted to. I mean, Bumbalo gave him the lane, didn't pinch him overly, but maybe just Jason thought he got pinched a little more than he really did, and he checked up big time because of that, and that spun him out. And then nobody has really anywhere to go, and just a bit of an unlucky NR contact there between him and Ryan Johnson sent his car upside down, and I guess he had just decided he had had enough.
Following DeCenza here, yeah, we saw him spin out, and yeah, that was after getting a hit there from the 77. And yeah, I think the hit there from the Rubinos is what really did him in.
Now seeing this time this yellow. Everyone can make it here on fuel, but Eddie Rayleigh is electing to stay out. Probably maybe hoping for another quick caution after about 15, 20 laps. Then everyone will come down for tires again. Also got Randy Smith staying out, who's on the lead lap. We'll see if he opts to continue to stay out, or if he's just maybe looking to pit, if he was trying to maybe lead a lap or something.
Yeah, we'll just past halfway now, so see what kind of strategy they're going to deploy at this point in time. I think this might actually be an opportunity to ring up our in-season race reporter.
Mac Daddy, what's going on?
Y'all boys enjoying this crazy race?
Oh yeah,
This
brother.
is something. Yep, I just got to ask you, because we're seeing some guys looping it both entry, exit. How's it seem to be driving for you?
I don't know what some of these guys are thinking, but that staying out on them old tires is rough.
Yeah, tire wear proving to be pretty major, or keeping it under you pretty good. How's it feeling on that front? Then we'll let you go.
It was really good right there, but then we started running that slower pace. It just made you looser and looser. So let's hope we get some semblance to a race here, because this is ugly.
Yeah, we're in the second half. Best of luck. Well, yeah, we're a little discombobulated here.
Number 10 went down pit road there. Only Eddie Rayleigh stays out. Dan Rubino going to hold low.
And both of Rubino's laps down and in line.
Sketchy.
I think that's because they.
Oh
no!
Yep. Herman
You ain't kidding.
To go, keeps it straight, but they're scattering. Caleb Lingle all the way down on the apron.
Gonna get back in front of Fugate, and now he's gonna loop it. But he's on the inside. Is that a yellow? Ooh, backed
it up. He backed it up onto the track, and that will be a yellow.
Maybe a smart play. Oh my goodness gracious.
Yeah, the yellow only came out because Caleb backed it back up onto the track.
Yep, it was not. That was going to be an awkward multiple point turn. Otherwise, I don't know. That's a weird one. But Eddie Rayleigh's going to have the race lead now with 70 to go, and oh my.
Yeah, so that all started off of turn 2. Steve Rubino and Dan Rubino were lap down cars, and they restarted at the front. I wonder if they were hoping that Eddie was going to pit and they could take the wave around, but that did not pan out. So Dan got really loose, and Herman tried to go low to maybe miss him and check up, but it didn't get to check up enough. Got into the back of him and, kept Dan straight, but everyone scattered. Caleb went all the way down to the apron, and then when he came back up, it got really loose on him, and he had to lock it up, and Fugate had nowhere to go.
There's a screenshot for you right there. Oof. You know how sideways Rubino was. I cannot believe that. We're going to let this play forward here a little bit. Credit to all those guys for it not being nearly as bad as it could have been. And then Caleb just lost it.
That could have been big one numero dos.
But the bad luck trend for the guy who can certainly qualify, unfortunately, his bad luck trend is going to continue.
Yeah, and it gets frustrating too, Just keep having bad luck, bad luck, bad luck. Just hoping something goes your way and you can just start getting back in the rhythm. He'll bounce back, but this is a pretty rough patch for him.
Yeah. He does have a win, though, this season, so he does at least have one thing that he's got going for him. He won at Las Vegas. Herman Reese looking for win number 2 in the season.
Andrew, there's a lot of guys with 1 win, and they're all top 8 in the point standings. Caleb's down in 20th.
I mean, you do have a point there.
If I was in that position, I would rather be top 5 leading the points with 1 win than being down in the dumps in 20th with 1 win.
I feel you.
Because then the 1 win don't really matter that much. It's not.
No.
It doesn't become as much of a silver lining.
Yeah, when you're in it for the whole season, which Caleb certainly is. I think he's only missed like 1 or 2 races. Yeah, you're definitely, that's going to be your priority. So I think I feel what you're saying there. Eddie Rayleigh's still out there in the race lead. Herman Race, Keith McLean, Steve Grant, Jeff Stacanis, the top 5. All the top 5 with wins so far. Riley King in 6th, though, still holding true. Hugate 7th. Bumbaloo KJ into the top 10 now. And then just ahead of Rick Castle. A little checkup going on here. Going back to the green once again. I mean, even with these cautions, we're still clicking them off. We're on lap 86 now, 150. Here we go. We'll see what Rayleigh's going to be able to do out front here. He's still on those older tires himself. But we saw Steve Grant manage to hold on to the lead for quite some time. Despite that disadvantage, we'll see if Ray Dog can do the same thing. Ooh, slideways there for the 73 and a few others, but keeping it straight up front at least. I think we just had one bring it down pit road there. Yeah, 113 still having some issues.
It could be a penalty.
Yeah, maybe if that like counts as like his second one, if they've kind of adopted that BSR type of rule. Not really sure. But we're just shy of 60 to go here. 61 to go at the stripe.
Yeah, it looks like it was a stop and go.
Gotcha. Maybe out of position or something. But cool to see Eddie Rayleigh up here. I mean, of course, we didn't broadcast Martinsville, so we didn't get to see him up front. But that U.S. Army Forge holding strong and holding pretty decent, but a little squirrely, some side damage. You can tell that things been through a day at Bristol. But 112 is looking pretty sporty. Herman Race, though, just kind of buying his time right now in second.
I put Caleb 2 laps down.
And that was just with the stop and go.
He's in a bit of a hole. Yeah, if that was a pit stop, he'd be 3 laps down.
So, yeah, that tell you something as far as the strategy that we were discussing a little bit earlier on. And how that, oh goodness, why the King nearly with trouble. But keeps it straight. Somehow.
Leaders are catching Irv Johnston in the 49. Last time we had lap traffic, it did not go too well for the top 3.
No. Let's see how these guys will navigate it. Rest of the field already in turn 3, so good ways away still. So it's just the one. Man, that's got to be a nerve-wracking feeling when you know that you're the one guy that's getting lapped, and here comes pretty much everybody, and yeah, Irv's doing his best to get out of the way, even got in the wall, but it's just tough to maintain a line without getting yourself into trouble at a track like this. Ooh, like that. Ugh. I'm going to keep my eye on this here for a little bit because, yeah, there's just enough squirreliness to make me a little nervous, but well, aside from that
we
one
might
moment,
have a battle for the lead here soon. Herman Reese is all over the bumper of Eddie Rayleigh.
Oh, wow, you're right. I had to actually get out of the throttle there, and Keith opted not to go for that move for second. Yeah, I think now those tires...
Yep.
Oh, here it comes.
He's
I
going to
think
give
those
him the bottom.
tires are starting to go, and that is the race lead back once again for Herman. Put that 73 back out in front, and now that outside. Not going to be where Eddie wants to be, but going to slot into third for the time being. So it could have been much worse.
Now Keith McLean going to try to chase after Herman Reese.
He's definitely got the car for it.
50 laps to go here at Bristol Motor Speedway.
I think, as you said, these guys should be, maybe aside from Eddie, these guys should be pretty much good on fuel to the end.
I don't think they're going green to the finish, to be quite honest. It's Bristol. There's going to be another caution.
I feel you, yeah, with some stuff like this. Steve Grant up to third.
It. Yeah, Eddie's just stuck on the top now. Gouging
There's
positions.
just no grip up there.
That's a game track for you. It's one groove.
Yeah. Oof. He's trying to hold where he can, but oh goodness gracious, Bumbelow just about took the nose off of KJ.
44 of
there goes Bumbelow.
Called it a night. Bumbelow with a big save. Keep it down there. Keep it down there. Don't come back up there.
Oof.
Oh,
there it is.
Lingle again.
And DJ and Ron Simpson and Irvin. There goes Simpson for a tumble.
2 barrels for the 25.
And that engine is cooked. Well, you're right. Oh, Herman's in trouble. The leader's caught up to the tail end of that crash and forced to stack up.
Now the 49 was still trying to turn around. And then the 49 turned down and kind of tapped the side of the 73.
I don't know if that the initial was a result of checking up because of the 85. It looks like that was way further ahead. It looks like it might actually be the Johnston guys that were near each other. Or no, yeah, they were kind of checking up, and then I think the 77 got into the 113, and holy moly, Steve Rubino get flying through and somehow missing it.
Yeah, I'm going to be really honest. I think that accident started because, Ricky Bumbelow, he got loose off of 4, and then he had it on the apron, and he's trying to save as much momentum as he can, but he tried to come back on the track in the corner, and that scared the heck out of everybody. And Duke Sorensen stopped the most out of them all. And then when Caleb Lingo went to check up DJ, and the 77 just had no time to react and started all of that.
Yeah, there's the hit. Caleb's trying to get it going. There goes Maverick sliding, and there's this barrel roll for Ron Simpson.
And then Irv Johnston's turning around, and he gets into the Herman as he's trying to go by and wait for them to sort it out.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a lot in that one, but yeah, that'll be night over for the 25, no doubt about that.
Oh, so it looks like there was confusion about if pit road was open or not. Some drivers went down pit road. And I don't know if pit road was even open, because I see Herman Reese going around to retake the lead after he pit. Yeah, it looks like there's a bunch of guys that might have pit with pit road being closed and they thought it was open. That's very interesting.
That's the confusing part of Bristol is, yeah, it's a weird spot. But yeah, I see a bunch of guys dropping back, including Ken Hansen, Ricky Bumbelow, there's Harry Kodian.
Oh yeah, so Eddie Rayleigh was the first one to turn down pit road, and the flag is red. The flag is
no
red.
Good.
A lot of guys noticed the flag was red, but some guys didn't. Ken Hansen went in. Monty Keller pit. Ryan Johnston aborted at the last second, but Ricky Bumbalo went in. Harry Kodian went in. Steve Rubino went in. None of them noticed that the flag was red.
We've already got one to green.
They will all have to go to the tail for that. That moves KJ all the way up to 5th as a result.
And Jeff Stukanis to 3rd.
Keith McLean, though, he had a terrible pit stop. He's down to 8th. Actually, 7th.
Gonna have 40 laps to go.
Too. Sorry, Andrew. I keep having more to say.
No, you're good. There's a lot going on. We're coming to green.
25:49 retired from that incident. 40 laps to go at Bristol.
And all that just as Silver Bullet Matt Stern jumps into the chat. Great to see you, Matt. This has been quite chaotic. KJ trying to make a move there on Wiley King. Both those guys with tore up rear ends. And now they're 4th and 5th. Oh my goodness. Herman Reese with the lead. Steve Grant 2nd.
How about
There's
Duke
the 31.
Sorensen? Back up to 10th after his spin earlier in the race.
And Rick Castle 9th. Yeah, that's a good couple good runs there for the 124 and 59.
Ryan Johnson
up to 8th.
Yep, after starting a lap down. KJ, of course, had the spin earlier. He's up to the top 5. Actually, yeah. KJ was the first caution of the night. Got that rear end damage.
He's had it ever since.
Ooh, KJ loose.
Ooh, Fugate.
Heard him lighting up the rear tire there as he came off the corner. He's going to lose 2 positions here to Fugate and Keith McLean.
McDaddy going to get up to 6th, and Ryan Johnson kind of forced the issue there, and that will be another spot. Well, that was not a good exchange there for KJ.
It's go time. You get a tiny amount of momentum. You're going to try to want to make that move, as long as you're not diving it in there.
35 to go at a track like this. That it might as well be 10 to go at this point. It's game on.
Yeah, and a lot of these guys are probably not going to pit again.
Yeah, I think track position at this point is what you're going to want above all else. So Steve Grant's looking sporty. He is catching up.
Yeah, you got all these guys here in the top 5, except for Wiley King, have won this season, and they're looking to be the first 2-time winner.
Yeah, I think the trend right now is looking pretty darn good that we will finally get a multi-time winner tonight. Just a matter of who that would be. Herman Reese is looking pretty sporty, but Steve Grant, though, is giving him a run for his money.
Yeah, these are the top 2 drivers on the season so far.
You know that Herman maybe wants to get one back on Steve after Darlington. Jeff Stukanis is sticking with him.
Steve has 2 more top 5s and 1 more top 10 than Herman. But they are only separated by those 18 points.
Few hundredths separated Herman and Steve that lap. Of course, give the advantage to the 73. 30 laps to go, coming to 29. And just kind of checking on through everything. Oh, Fugate, a little iffy corner there. And it's going to force Keith to check up. And they're all pretty stacked up.
He's going to get there now.
Oh,
that's
yeah,
going to be 5th for the 28.
9's actually starting to look like he's getting tight.
Oh, yeah.
Yikes.
That right front's got to be on fire. That's going to drop him to 8th.
Not good there for the Texas winner.
A little bit of clean racetrack now here for Keith until he gets up to Wiley King, so he'll have a little more freedom with where he lifts or brakes going into the corner.
You know, kind of allow him to run his line. We'll see how many positions the pole sitter can make up. Still got Pontiac versus Cadillac up here at the front of the field. And as we said, though, it's one thing to stick with a guy or even get to him. It's just another thing to get to the quarter panel and try to get that run. And Steve's going to have to try something here in order to try to make that happen. But, man, he's got one of the top guys here at HOBO in order that he's going to have to try and pass. 25 laps to go. That's going to be that's going to be a tough task.
Keith McLean pushing it as hard as he can, but it's hard to gain time here. Might need another yellow to stack them all up.
Ooh, just ran his fastest lap of the race, though, I believe. Oh, yeah, he did. 6:36. Still hard to believe that's 2/10 off of his pole lap. My God, what a lap that was. Hope he saved his replay. I would honestly love to see it and just be like, how on earth was he able to pull off something like that, and what would it look like?
Got the perfect lap, Andrew.
A perfect lap, and it translated. Let's see. 22 to go, I believe, and it's
Gonna come
still
into
looking
lap traffic here soon.
pretty good. Ooh, yeah, you're right. Yep, we got two. We got Caleb Lingle and Troy Donahue. A little further up the way is Ricky Bumbalo and Eddie Rayleigh. We're both doing battle.
Yeah, these top two, they're just kind of inching away from Stekenis and King. McLean still kind of inching forward, but
Stekenis just had a moment there.
Gonna be tough for Keith to get by the 95 and 31 to get to the top two. Less than 20 to go now at Bristol Motor Speedway.
19 officially left here. You know, Steve Grant's maybe looking at that lap traffic ahead going, all right, let's mix it up here a little bit. Let's see if maybe that'll throw him off his game just that little bit. Gap still pretty much the same. It's been a little bit of a seesaw between those two, but there's still been about a car length between them throughout. And yeah, Herman's just got to keep it clean here and keep it mistake-free. Hoping for no yellow, I'm sure.
He's got to hope he can get by the lap car. Oh, boy, that was close.
Was dodgy.
Yeah, Troy checked up, excuse me, a little bit before the corner, and I don't think Herman was ready for it. That was almost a big opportunity for Steve Grant.
I think Jeff Stekenis is starting to struggle back there. He's starting to fall into the clutches of the 95 and the 28s. But yeah, 15 to go.
This is very much a race between the 73 and the 11 at this point, unless something happens.
11 with a decent run there, but still not quite enough to get to him. They still got some more lap traffic up ahead. Checking in on that battle for 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Keith on a good recovery run here. And how about, yeah, KJ? After everything that happened to him earlier in the race, he's up to 6th. Ryan Johnson 7th. Those are some very good runs there for guys that started the race at the rear.
Ken Hansen has rebounded to 10th.
Well, yeah, check that out. Yeah, great stuff there for the 94. Duke Sorensen 9th. Rick Castle 8th. Yeah, those are some really good runs. So
also got Maverick just outside the top 10 and 11th, as Donahue's going to have it in the wall here, trying to let guys go by.
Oof. Oh, yeah, you're not kidding.
Keith McLean, though, now starting to put pressure on Wiley King. There's still very much a battle here for 3rd. Stekenis getting close to Lingle on exit.
Oh, I thought that was going to be a moment, but thankfully it was not.
Ooh, Stekenis' arc checked up Wiley King. That's going to let McLean go by for 4th. KJ almost gets into the 95.
That was another moment that could have been the yellow flag, as now we got more lap traffic for these guys to contend with, and they ain't letting them by that easily.
And remember, with it being a short track,
money!
They're being lap cars. You know, if you get the yellow at a certain point, you know, you race back, the race will end on the yellow. No caution for that. Monty just pulled it off there and parked it on the apron.
Yeah, these guys are racing for position, so it's not like they're just going to let it be. There goes Rayleigh spinning.
Oh, and Wiley's
on the apron.
KJ.
Wiley. That'll be the yellow. Oh, goodness.
There will definitely be a restart for this.
Oh, Donahue just put KJ in the wall. What's this going to be, like 2 laps?
Probably, yeah. Looking like a 2-lapper, I think.
Not what Herman wanted to see. Or maybe he did, because now he does have 4 lap cars.
No. Wheel spin here is going to be a pain in the butt.
That's true. My goodness. Yeah, he had a couple of moments there, but Yeah, it started with Eddie spinning.
Looks like he clipped the apron behind Steve Grant. That got his car all out of whack. Just barely, and then he just overcorrected it back to the right. And then I think Wiley
actually got hit. KJ sent him around.
Wiley was checking up for Eddie, and KJ got right into him.
Yeah. That those short track moments. And we were just hyping both those guys up for their recoveries, and just like that, that's gonna hurt them. But and
Real
that will promote
quick,
Keith McLean and Ryan Johnson up a spot. Go ahead.
since I keep forgetting about it, and this is our last yellow, I will be live on my channel this Thursday at the Bomb Squad Racing League for Cup Series action at Texas Motor Speedway. It is going to be a blast. Andrew Miller here will be on the racetrack racing, so that'll be fun for him. No, I do not want to set up a whisper to you like I do with Keith. I want to be focused on my job, but in all seriousness, it'll be a great time, and looking forward to it.
I'm looking forward to that too. Texas, one of my better tracks. I'm hyping it up too now, and usually whenever I hype up a race, it usually goes down the toilet for me. So we'll see how that goes. But hey, I'm looking forward to being back on a streamed race. And but yeah, I was honestly with you. Even if you had asked me about a whisper, I probably would have said no because I tend to get pretty in the zone for those.
I'm gonna have to talk to Keith and be like, hey man, I know we got a good system for HOBO, but I need you to take me off of it for Thursday.
Yeah.
If he shows up.
Texas is going to be a great race. That's always very competitive. Definitely, everybody go check that out, especially if you want to see the 86 crash a few times.
You have run at Texas before.
Actually, the last 2 times I've ran there, I finished 5th. And
Lights are off.
And one of those was the the Danny Harding Memorial.
Yeah, I don't have stats for those, but
finished 5th in that one, and then the actual cup race.
I got the winners and caution stats for those, but I don't have stats for everybody. But 2-lap shootout here. You're either going to take the green here, have a wreck, and race back to the white, or we're going to get to the white, and then it's just racing back to the checkered. You got to manage the wheel spin here. If you're Herman Reese, do not give Steve Grant an opportunity to get to your inside.
Steve's got to get the restart of a lifetime here. And here we go. Green flag back out. Little spin there for Herman, but not bad. I think that's about what he needed. Steve, goodness gracious. He's trying to power it down. But they are going to make it to the whites. And there's the white flag.
White flag is out. Steve's just got to hope for a mistake here. Otherwise, he's looking at a good finish in second.
It's going to be a reverse of Darlington. Herman Reese is going to get the better of Steve Grant here. Maybe. Oh, that was a good run there, but it will be Herman Reese becoming the first multi-time winner of the season. Steve gave it everything that he had there, even wrecked it after the checkers. But will emerge with a second place finish, and man, is that going to make for a tight points lead battle. Heading to the next race at, if I'm not mistaken, Rockingham for next week. Took us 9 races, but we finally have a multi-time winner, and his name is Herman Reese in the 73 Cadillac.
Another great run for Steve Grant. That'll be his 7th top 5 on the season. Same for Jeff Stekenis. They leave that category together. Steve will remain on top in top 10s with his 8th top 10, but it is Herman Reese, as you said, Andrew, the first 2 victories on the season. So he'll burn it down here at Bristol Motor Speedway.
Smacking into the wall there, but he's feeling pretty good about that one. I know he was very, very unhappy with how Darlington ended, so I think that's some redemption for him there, and awesome stuff there for Herman, and then Steve Grant, Jeff Stacanis, your top three. We'll try to get a word with those guys. Keith McLean, great recovery, up to fourth place for the pole sitter, and a wonderful finishing result there for Ryan Johnson and Kilojoules, Julian Wilson, fifth and sixth, respectively. Rick Castle, Duke Sorensen, what some great finishes there for seventh and eighth place. Wiley King, and then emerging with a top 10 is the 23 of Maverick. Nicely done there. Fugate, Steve Rubino, to the Rubino fan club out there, if they ever watch this back, will emerge 12th ahead of DJ, Bumbaloo, and Hanson. And then Randy Smith rounds out the lead lap finishers in 16th. Harry Codian, Eddie Rayleigh, and Troy Donahue finish one lap down. And then 20th down to 27th. DNF, unfortunately, going Caleb Lingle, Monty Keller, Ron Simpson, EJ, Dan Rubino, Jason San Diego, Mark DeSenza, and Rob Heath. Your full finishing results. A very chaotic race at Bristol there. Not quite as chaotic as Martinsville apparently was, so at least there's that. But still pretty crazy, no less. But we still had some good runs there that really showed the speed of these guys. And Herman Reese and Steve Grant, they were once again the class of the field at the very end there. Once that track position got to them, and they were able to duke it out. And this time, Herman was the one to emerge victorious. But on that note, though, I think we'll get some quick words with these guys, and we will start with third place finisher, Jeff Stacanis.
User was moved to your channel.
And there is Jeff. Do you copy?
Copy.
Right on. Another third place finish for you. It's been fairly consistent so far for you as of late, but just seemed like maybe just a step behind the top two there, but all in all, still a great finish. And man, it just seems like you're just consistently chugging along here with these like top three, top five finishes. But for tonight, though, at least, do you feel like you could have had anything there for the top two?
No. Actually, they were running really, really quick. And I was all for attrition in this race. You know how that goes.
Yeah. Yeah, there was
keep my
good
nose clean. Yeah.
And hey, you kept it clean, and it ended well for you. Zach, any questions for driver number 31?
Yeah, Jeff, we saw, a lot of patience was required here tonight at Bristol Motor Speedway. Just out of curiosity for you, what was your process tonight in just kind of being patient and working your way forward?
Just staying consistent, hitting my marks, and trying to, asking my teammates, what they're doing and how they're doing it, and just being consistent.
Consistency is king.
Noticed a few drivers had a bit of confusion during one caution on whether pit road was open or not. Did you notice that red flag was still out there? Because we saw a lot of guys looking like they were going to pit, but then they didn't pit. And a few guys, it looked like, didn't notice the flag was red, and they got bit there.
Yeah, we noticed it was closed, and then but still some people went through, so not sure why.
I just didn't quite catch it, probably.
But,
yeah. I've been there once or twice.
It is a little confusing.
But consistency is king, and hey, you're showing it. And hey, another very, very solid finish in third place, and hey, another interview in the books for you as well.
Another win for the Horsemen.
Yeah, you gotta love that for driver of the Cadillac. But, as always, though, with these, anytime that we get you up here in the booth, you know what to do.
Yeah, thank all my sponsors and my teammates, especially Herman. He's a big setup giver, so there is that. And all the admins and all the guys that I race with. Shout out to all them. They're really good guys.
Yeah, it's a good group of guys, and hey, always seeing like mid-20 cars, field sizes, always awesome to see. And Hey, I'm sure we'll see the same thing for these next couple races.
These guys to race against these guys is tough.
Yeah.
Tough. I mean,
competitive.
Some of these guys, are very, very competitive.
Hey, it took us till now to get a multi-time winner on the season.
Right. Yeah, because there was, 6 or 7 different winners?
8.
8, yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So it took until tonight to finally get someone to win his second race, and that was Herman. So props to you guys for just how competitive it is, and just glad that I'm able to watch it all unfold.
10-4. Thank you for broadcasting it.
And not a problem, man. Great job, and best of luck at Rockingham.
Thank you.
Jeff Stacanis, third place finisher. So we can get
User
Steve
left
Grant
your
here
channel.
next.
User was moved to your channel.
Here's Steve Grant. Do you copy, my friend?
Yeah, how's it going?
Hey. Let's see. It was a win last week. It's a second place tonight. Roles reversed. You were hunting down Herman there, but just not quite. But at the same time, at a track that is very difficult to get runs and get passes done, I still feel like you got to be feeling pretty good about that, considering just how competitive you two were there on that final run. It was you two, and you guys were just a class of the field.
Well, to be honest with you, I mean, if I hadn't gambled earlier and stayed out, I don't know if I would have got back up there, because just track position is so important here. And then Keith slid through his pit or something, and I was like, wow, here I am in second. We missed a bunch of stuff. I was on the radio to Keith. I was just like, man, I'm just going to lay back through this traffic, because you can't tell what's going to happen.
Yeah, traffic was pretty scary there. I was just going to ask you, trying to navigate it there while trying to race the 73. And I kind of alluded to, maybe in the back of your mind, you were like, yeah, maybe this might actually give me the opening that I need. Did that go through your head at any point?
Yeah, there was one. Monty, I think, went down. I could have went down and dove under Keith, or not Keith, but Herman. And I just was like, at this point, I was just happy if I finished in the top 5. I was just like, these races are, if you're not in the very front, it's so hard to get around somebody unless they make a mistake. So I just was kind of trying to keep the pressure on them, but save a little bit of tire. It was a fun race.
Yeah, it was chaotic but fun indeed. Any questions for Steve there, Zach?
Yeah. So, Steve, early in the race, around lap 40, we saw you and teammate Wiley King elect to stay out. What thought process led to that decision there?
Well, I wasn't going anywhere where I was. That was what I was talking about earlier. I was like, well, let's just stay out and hope that it runs long enough that they have to come in for tires, and then I'll be up with the top 5. And it luckily worked out in my favor. It didn't seem to work out too much for Eddie in the 112. I think he did the same thing, tried to stay out. And like I said, it's track position. It's all about track position here.
And what happened there with Stenzo? It didn't look like he was able to grit up tonight.
He's not a real big fan of the short tracks right now, and he's getting better. He put in a bunch of time last night. He was clicking off some 15.8, so he's getting there. I think he's still building his confidence. I mean, this year he's just kind of getting back into the swing of things and starting to get a little bit more comfortable with how to adjust his car. So we're still working with him, and I'm sure he'll get back to being a little bit more competitive in the future.
Right on. One last question, and not to put you on the spot, but will I see you Thursday?
Where are they running Thursday?
Bomb Squad is at Texas this week.
I'm not that good at Texas, but I'll probably show up there. It all depends on how CCR's race goes.
Oh, they're still racing this week? No bye week, huh?
That was last week, so this week will be the start of the new season. So if it gets over soon enough, I'll jump over there.
Okay, yeah. See, I already got my weeks mixed up. Time's just kind of mixing up for me, so I already forgot that we did that CCR race like 2 weeks ago. I thought it was last week for some reason.
Yep. I was surprised you guys were even airing tonight. I thought that you guys were taking tonight off, so I was kind of, oh wow, this is a broadcasted race. I didn't even post anything.
I totally forgot about it too until this morning, and then went, oh wait, it's Tuesday. I'm supposed to be broadcasting. Oh wait, no, I'm not. I had something else going on. Oh well, I guess I'll broadcast in that case. Oh, it was a weird turnaround of events.
I'm glad you did the broadcast, but I'm sorry about all the cautions there at the beginning, but it's typical for this track.
Hey, it's a tough track, so no fault of your guys. No questioning the talent there. There's a lot going on, so credit to you guys for even clicking it off as well as you did, because there were some really, really good runs there as well. So very, very well done, and we'll see what Rockingham has in store next week. Of course, looking forward to hopefully joining you on the track on Thursday night. But for now, though, of course, anytime we get you in the booth, you know what to do, my friend.
All right, man. Well, I want to thank all my teammates on Team Speedland, and thank you guys for doing the broadcast. That was kind of a extra treat, I guess, tonight. And Steve and Dan and everybody at HOBO, it's just a blast to race here. It's a lot of fun. Thanks a lot. I hope you guys have a great evening.
Yeah, same to you, my friend. Nicely done. See you next week. Steve Grant, runner-up to this next gentleman.
User left your channel. Permissions.
That would be
User was moved to your channel.
driver number 73. It took us this long to get a multi-time winner on the season, and that title will officially go to Herman Reese. And Herman, do you copy?
I'm here. How you guys doing tonight? Wow.
Doing pretty good. Yeah, it took us this long, 9 races in, and now we finally have a 2-time winner on the season. And you've got that honor, my friend. And it took you holding off the guy that held you off at Darlington. But hey, it all panned out, and it was like I was telling Steve, you two in that final run just had the cars to beat.
It was, I thought I was going to throw it away. I have thrown away 3 or 4 of these races within 2 laps to go this season after leading the most laps, and I thought, well, here we go again. Dang caution come out, and I'm going to mess up, or something's going to happen. I'm going to get pummeled. And I'm very fortunate. This place is so tough. You see, it's so tough to pass. And Steve surprised me there. He made a gamble early on for points, and it paid off. So I didn't make any gains on him there, but it was fun. I really thought I made a mistake on my adjustments on that last stop, and the thing just never went away. It just was fast.
It stayed fast, and yeah, you guys were clicking it off beautifully, and he was sticking with you. But all in all, it all panned out there. I will just ask, as far as that final restart went, we were talking about just trying to keep the tires under you and not spin them too much. I'm sure that was probably what you were thinking, was just, all right, just keep them straight, keep the tires on, and just hope for the best.
Yeah, I was thinking 1 foot putt, just get it going. And that on new tires, I was spinning in first gear a little bit, so I was kind of feathering it, and I knew everybody else was kind of in the same boat, and I had to protect a tick there on Steve. I think he was trying to fill my mirror up because it's just so hard to pass. I had 50 lap fresher tires on some of these guys tonight, and it was just so terribly hard to pass. And but I had fun. It was a good run. There was some shenanigans that happened on in the race. I really think that Keith had the fastest car, and that early wreck that blocked the track kind of got him messed up. And then he kind of bobbled the pits there on the last stop, and that just was fortunate for me. I've lost him that way. It's fortunate to get one back here. I mean, it was 27 guys on a 24-year-old game. I can't believe it.
I'm with you on that one. I was saying, seeing a card count like that, week in, week out, it's awesome. All the usual suspects, and again, just showing how competitive this league is. 8 races, no multi-time winners. It took 9 races to finally get to that point. So I was enthralled with that statistic, and I was like, okay, I think tonight's going to be the night that we'll get someone to win number 2, and yep, that proved to be the case.
Yeah, it was just fortunate. I mean, it's so much about track position, and making the right call at the right time and not getting caught up in some of the messes. And I ran this setup last year, and I actually wasn't happy with it. And Keith and I worked diligently last night on 2 setups, and I'm telling you, couldn't be further from either setup on both cars. And there's not one thing that was the same, other than they both had steering wheels, and they were both pretty fast. I just didn't like the long run speed on his, and it was the fastest, on the long run somehow with it. But was just my team did a great job here the last few weeks of working and getting everything. Just you go into a test session, and each guy tries some things, and we talk, and that's there are more team wins anymore, with the work we've been doing on Monday nights.
Yeah, I know you're with the 4 horsemen. Yep, Jeff was hyping you up there, and he was feeling pretty good about if he wasn't able to get the win, having you get it. So yeah, definitely a team effort there, and props to you guys. Zach, I'll turn it over to you if you've got anything for Herman.
All my questions were already answered.
Fair enough.
At the end there, we made a track bar. I round the track bar up and dropped a bunch of wedge out of it, and thought I made a crazy mistake. I should have left it full of fuel, but it panned out, and it was overdue. I'm going to feel pretty good after tonight. Last week I didn't sleep till about 2:00. Martinsville, I blew that lead on the last restart with 2 to go, and I didn't sleep till 2:00. I'll get into bed tonight.
I got a question, actually.
Go ahead.
So I'm a racer like yourself. So is Andrew. And, at a track like Bristol tonight, with the amount of people that were here tonight to race, saw a lot of you guys keep waiting. At what point do you start to get nervous that this could be a green flag run? And, I haven't pit. I'm going to have to pit on the green, go 2-3 laps down, and then pray that the last guy that needs to pits in these next 20-30 laps. Like, how nerve-wracking can that be?
It can be extremely nerve-wracking. And actually, this race last year in the fall did just that. Went like 2 cautions, the first one early, and then went green. I kept an eye on the fuel. There was one point I think we pitted with 99 or 90 something to go, and I knew I might be able to stretch it. But I had built in, luckily, that's what we worked on last night, was because of last year was a long run setup. And I honestly felt that the 5 of us with KJ, he was a little bit off tonight, but with that if it went more than 50, 60 laps, that we were only going to lose 1 lap under, that we just worked on. This track traditionally gets so loose, it's hard to drive. And it's amazing if you get green flag runs. So we've worked on keeping grip and bite in it the entire run. So last night we made some long runs where we literally from the beginning of the run to the end of the run only fell off half a second, which is almost unheard of here. So I felt like that was going to be it. But yeah, you're keeping an eye on the fuel, and that's why sometimes I wasn't planning on pitting there at 77 to go, because I just pitted 20 laps earlier, and I'm like, hey, this is getting that feel. You can feel it sometimes and go, this is getting that feel. It's going to be a long run here. And I'm glad I did, because I think we went like 25 laps there, 30 laps, right when the tires start. Right at 30 laps is when everybody's really going to fall off here.
Right on.
Panned out beautifully. And yeah, all that testing that you guys are doing paid off nicely. And a very fast car, and a little luck with how things fell. But all in all, it all came down to execution. You pulled it off beautifully, and you, my friend, are now a 2-time winner on the season. As you said, it took a little longer than you hoped, but hey, you still got that title, my friend, and nothing's going to take that away. So great job. Best of luck at Rockingham, and as usual, we let you have the floor for whatever you would like to close the night on.
Thank the Hobo Racing, Steve and Dan Rubino. Thank you guys for putting on the show for us. I think Keith McLean might have sponsored this race this evening, and thanks to him and the testing. I'm gonna give you an early prediction for next week. The 28 car. We worked on some stuff last time we ran the Rock, and we nobody could touch him unless Jordan McGregor shows up. I'm going to say Keith's the favorite for next week's race, and I'm glad you guys made it. I thought you weren't going to be here tonight, so it's perfect timing, and hopefully we get to see you next week and talk again.
Yeah, I like the sound of it. And hey, if you want the story of how I realized of how this stream ended up happening after I thought it wouldn't, you have to either ask Keith or just watch it back, because it was kind of comical. But that was a brain fart on my part. But hey, it all ended up working out that I was able to make it happen. And hey, you guys put on a good show, and congrats to you, man. And looking forward to what Rockingham has in store.
Thanks, and thanks again, you guys. Appreciate it.
Right on, brother.
Have a good night.
You too.
User left your channel.
All right.
Channel switched.
Whoopsie doodle.
Channel switched.
There we go.
Good job, Goofy.
That was funny. But Zach, I'll turn it over to you before we wrap it up. A little chaotic, but all in all, it still had some good runs there that showed the speed that these guys have.
Yeah, a lot of interesting strategy tonight. Of course, talking about how long do you keep staying out with the yellows before you start to get concerned about being shorter on fuel if it suddenly goes green. Different strategies to get to track position because it was so hard to pass. So kind of its own Darlington, it's in its own special way. Just short straightaways, hard to get a good run through the corner, get that move on the exit. Really good race, good finish, nice little 2-lap shootout, and we did have a few runs there in the middle. So yeah, overall great race.
And overall, I enjoyed it. And Zach, I enjoyed having you back up here in the booth once again. Go subscribe to Bulldog Speed if you haven't already. Go check out the Who's That Driver podcast and give it a listen. Well worth your time. And hey, give Death Craver a read, and we'll see you guys on, well, Zach will. We'll see you guys on Thursday night for Bomb Squad Racing at Texas. I will be on track, hoping to make something good happen. Hopefully I'll be able to put on a good show for you guys. But until next week at Rockingham, though, thank you to those that tuned in, and congrats to Herman Reese on win number 2 on this season. But until next week, everybody stay safe and have a good one. We will see you later.